In this video, I am going to discuss about probability. Probability is a branch of mathematics that deals with the likelihood or chance of an event occurring. It is used to make predictions and decisions in various fields such as science, engineering, economics, and finance. You need to have a fundamental understanding of probability because in the next videos we are going to discuss about expected values and decision trees. Those techniques are based on probability. This is a very common example when it comes to probability. The probability of getting heads or tails is 1 over 2 or zero point 0.5 or as a percentage 50%. This means that if you flip a coin many times, about half the time you would expect to get heads and the other half tails. This is the formula to calculate the probability. Probability equals to number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. What is the probability of rolling a 4 on a fair six-sided die? You know die. It is a cube which has numbers on each side. So this cube has six sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For this experiment, what we are going to do, we are rolling the dice and see how many times we will get the number 4. So we are going to calculate the probability of getting a number 4. Probability of getting a number 4. This is the standard notation, the probability. P denotes the probability and next we use parentheses. Within the parentheses, we include the desired outcome. So here our desired outcome will be rolling a number 4. So this equals to number of favorable outcomes. So how many number 4s on a six-sided die? There is only one number 4. So the favorable outcomes for this experiment is 1 because there is only one number 4 divided by total number of outcomes. So what are the total number of outcomes for a six-sided die? There are six sides. So the total number of outcomes for this experiment is 6. So this is the probability of rolling a 4 on a six-sided die. If we want to convert this probability into a percentage value, we can simply multiply this probability by 100%. So now let's do the second example. What is the probability of picking an ace from a card pack? So in a standard card pack, there are 52 cards and there are 4 suits. So there will be 4 aces. Now let's calculate the probability of picking an ace from a card pack. So the probability of picking an A, we can denote this by including the letter A equals to number of favorable outcomes. So how many aces are there in a card pack? There are 4 aces. So there are 4 favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So how many cards in a card pack? There are 52 cards. So the total number of outcomes equal to 52. This is the probability of picking an ace from a card pack. We can simplify this probability value by dividing both numerator and the denominator by 4. So this equals to 1 over 13. If we want to convert this probability into percentage value, we can simply multiply this by 100%. Now let's do the third example. What is the probability of picking a card of hearts from a card pack? So there are 52 cards in a card pack and there are 4 suits in a card pack. For each suit, there are 13 cards. So now let's calculate the probability. Probability of picking a card of hearts. So let's include letter H. equals to how many number of favorable outcomes. So how many cards have hearts on them in a standard card pack? There are 13 cards which have hearts on them. So favorable outcomes equal to 13 divided by total number of outcomes. How many cards in a card pack? 52. So this is the probability of picking a card of hearts from a card pack. Now you know the notation of probabilities and to calculate the probabilities using the probability formula. Now let's do this example. If a person picks a card from a standard card pack which has 52 cards, calculate the probabilities of followings. After a card is picked, it will be put back to the pack. This means every time there will be 52 cards. A. Picking a red card. So, how many cards in a card pack? 52. This is the total number of outcomes. So, how many red cards in a card pack? There are 4 suits. Each suit has 13 cards. Two of the suits are black and the other two suits are red. So, how many red cards in a card pack? There will be 13 multiplied by 2 because 13 is the number of cards in a suit and there are two suits which are red. So, 26. So, picking a red card out of the card pack is 26. We can simplify this. So, this equals to 1 over 2. So, probability of picking a red card equals to 1 over 2. Now, let's do the second example. Picking a king. So, there are 52 cards. This is the total outcomes. So, how many kings in a card pack? Each suit has one king. So, there are 4 suits. So, there will be 4 kings. We can also simplify this, dividing both numerator and denominator by 4. 1 over 13. So, probability of picking a king is equals to 1 over 13. Option C, a red queen. Let's do it here. So, red queen, there are 52 cards. There are 4 suits and 2 of them are red. So, there will be 2 red queens. This is the probability. We can simplify this 1 over 26. So probability of picking a, let's say, red queen equals to 1 over 26. Option D, a number card. So there are 52 cards and how many number cards are there? So starts from 2 to 10. We do not consider the card ace because there is no number on it. So there are 9 number cards for each suite. So how many total number of cards in card pack? We can multiply this by 4. 36. So this will become 36. So the probability of picking a number card equals to 36 over 52. So the last option, a picture card. So E, there are 52 cards. How many picture cards? There are 3 picture cards for a suite. So there are 4 suites. There will be 12 picture cards. So this is 12. So the probability of picking a picture card equals to 12 over 52. Let's add another option. Option F, picking an ace. So there are 52 cards and how many aces in a card pack? There are 4 sweets. So 4 multiplied by 1. So this is 4. This equals to 1 over 13. So probability of picking an ace equals to 1 over 13. Now you have a thorough understanding of how to calculate the probabilities. Now let's do this example. This is bit different. Now there is a condition. There is a standard pack of cards and a person picks two cards in a row without replacing the card. This is the condition, not replacing the card. Calculate the probability of picking two hearts. Let's understand what is happening here. A person is picking a card from a pack of cards, but without replacing that first card, the person is again picking a card. So, in the second time, there will be only 51 cards because the person is keeping the first card. So, in this example, we have to calculate the probability of picking two hearts, which means probability of picking heart and heart. This is what they are asking. Both cards being hearts. This is the multiplication law. We discussed about this. So in order to do that, we have to calculate the individual probabilities separately. So let's calculate them. First, pick. So when the person is picking for the first time, there are 52 cards. And how many hearts in a pack? There are 13 hearts. So this is the probability of picking a heart in the first pick. So first heart equals to 13 over 52. We can simplify this 1 over 4. Now let's calculate the second pick. So now there is only 51 cards in the pack because the person is keeping the first card. Now how many hearts in the card pack? Now there are only 12 hearts because the first card being a heart. You have to understand this is the condition. Condition is being the person is keeping the first card. If the first card is a heart, there is only 12 hearts remaining in the pack. And there are only 51 cards in total. So the probability of the second heart equals to 12 over 51. So the probability of picking two hearts in a row equals to first and second equals to 1 over 4 multiplied by 12 over 51, which equals to 1 over 17. So this is the probability of picking two hearts in a row while the first card is not being replaced. So you have to understand what is the condition and how the condition is affecting the number of outcomes. Now let's discuss about joint probability. Joint probability is the probability of two or more events occurring together. Previously we discussed about the probability for one event. For an example, flipping a coin and rolling a dice at the same time. When it comes to joint probability, there are two laws you need to know about. First one is the multiplication law. Second one is the addition law. The multiplication law is where two or more events are happening at the same time and we are considering the term and, which means probability of the event A occurring and event B occurring at the same time. We can determine this probability by multiplying each individual probability together. Probability A multiplied by probability B. This is the multiplication law. We are multiplying the probabilities. Under additional law, we are considering event A O event B happening at the same time. We can determine this probability by adding the individual probabilities together and deducting the multiplication of the probabilities, which is this. Remember, there can be more than two events happening at the same time. For the simplification, we are only considering two events at a time. Let's do an example so you will understand these concepts. For an example, if a coin is flipped and a dice is rolled at the same time, calculate the following probabilities. Option A, the probability of getting heads and rolling number 2. So you can see the AND term. So what we have to do is we have to use the multiplication law. Now you can see the AND term, which means now we have to use the multiplication law. So how we use the multiplication law? We have to calculate each probability separately, then multiply them together. So probability of getting a heads, this equals to 1 over 2 because there is only one head and there are two outcomes. Now we know about this. And the probability of rolling a number 2 equals to 1 over 6 because there is only one number 2 on a dice and there are 6 sides. Now we have to do is we have to use the multiplication law. Probability of getting heads and rolling a number 2 equals to probability of getting heads multiplied by probability of getting number 2. So this equals to 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 6 equals to 1 over 12. This is the probability of getting heads and number 2. Now let's do the option B, tails or number 6. So now you can see there is the term O. So we have to use the additive model. So what is the additive model? Probability of getting tails or number 6. This equals to probability of getting tails plus probability of getting number 6 minus probability of getting t and 6. This is the formula we have to use. So the probability of getting tails 1 over 2 plus probability of getting number 6 1 over 6 minus p, t and 6. We have the pt and t6. Now what we have to do is we have to multiply these two values because this is the multiplication law over 6. This equals to 4 over 6 minus 12 over 1. This is the probability. Now you understand what is the multiplication law and addition law. Let's do the other options as well. Option C, probability of getting heads and an even number. You see the and. So this is the multiplication law. So probability of getting heads and getting an even number, let's say E, equals to 1 over 2 multiplied by, there are 6 sides. How many even numbers? 2, 4, 6. There are 3 even numbers. So 3 over 12. We can simplify this as 1 over 4. This is the probability. Now let's do the option D. Probability of getting heads or a number higher than 2. Now you see the term O. This is the addition law. So probability of getting heads or number higher than 2. Let's denote like this. Equals to 1 over 2 plus how many numbers are there which are higher than 2? 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 4 numbers which are higher than 2 over 6 minus, now we have to multiply these two values. So this equals to 7 over 6 minus 4 over 12. You can use the calculator to get the final answer, which is 5 over 6. Now you have a better understanding of what is probability, how to calculate probabilities, what is joint probability and underjoint probability. We discussed about multiplication law and addition law. So what is the multiplication model? Probability of A and B equals to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. Addition law is P probability of A OB equals to PA plus PB minus PA and B. You need to remember these equations. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.